not to overflog the emotional aspect, but that's the stabilizing factor.
There's also that aspect of lazy people saying, "Oh, my mental health."
No, we're not talking about that. No, that's not that. We're not talking about those who every little thing is your mental health. Please get a life. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about having holistic children, individuals, because you want the child that has been trained holistically to be the leader tomorrow, not a senator tomorrow who victimizes another senator and uses power play and all that thing we're seeing.
Let's go there.
Let's not go there.
Hi and welcome to SchoolTalk Cafe. My name is Sele and I have with me Adeayo. Plenty energy.
Trouble, like seriously.
She's had. Did you put sugar in your drink or something?
No.
I don't know whether it's a sugar rush or she's just generally high today. But I know one of the reasons why she's high. Somebody is around and she's really high because of that. So anyway, today we'll be looking at feedback from students. And we're asking, is it really important? Is it necessary? Does the school or parents or other teachers, do they even need feedback from the students within the school system context? Is it necessary? Because when we say student feedback, what do we mean so that we can just situate this properly? A teacher has been teaching for certain number of days within a term. So let's say midterm, we want to know whether that teacher has been effective or not. Who best to tell us?
Children.
The recipients of that teaching. Now, I'm aware that some schools try to, build feedback systems into their school system. But for the better part,
they don't ask the children.
They don't ask these children what the children think.
Yeah.
There's no systemic way
to actually get
or scientific way of gathering that data to say this teacher, this is what students feel. Whether it is accurate or not, or whether the students are experts or well informed enough to make feedback is feedback. Because the truth of the matter is how you make them feel.
Is feedback
you
enough?
Make them think is feedback enough, because if you are teaching to get a certain type of response. If that response is not being gotten, then it means you're not doing your job well, because there's a desired response that we're expecting when you teach a class. If that desired response is not what we're getting, then it helps us quickly do an assessment and say, okay, why? Where's the problem? What's happening? How can we rectify? But when you're not even talking to the recipients of
the major recipients, the major stakeholders,
the key recipients of this thing, you're not talking to them. You're just running your syllabus and going on and saying this thing, and then you now use exam
as feedback mechanism.
You understand? Which it is, but it shouldn't be the sole component.
No, it shouldn't. Academic feedback.
I've seen at the university level where students, we were talking about this some days back, where students got into the exam hall, opened the questions,
and it was alien.
And it was totally alien to them. The things in that question, they were not taught. They didn't even know it.
It was not on the...
Guess what? No meeting, no discussion, nothing. Everybody just stood up, and as in they didn't have to meet to discuss and say this is what we will do. The reaction was spontaneous and instantaneous. Everybody just stood up and walked out of the class. If the lecturer was shouting, no, you cannot leave the hall until 30 minutes after the exam and this thing, that's what the school rule says. Everybody walked out in protest. That's feedback.
A generation where there was no WhatsApp. So you cannot say that maybe they had spoken
this was way back. I'm talking about late 90s.
No WhatsApp.
No WhatsApp, no nothing.
No text message.
They didn't meet to discuss. Did they even see the questions? It was right there in the hall. They just looked at it, and one by one, everybody just stood up and said, no, I'm not writing this. Abba.
I'm not going to.
But this is so unfair.
I'm not going to implicate myself.
Even the so-called efficos, the efficient students who, they are very studious, and everybody said, nah, this is wickedness. And they all stood up. The dean of the faculty had to step in and call the lecturer and say, Abba, Oga, this is not nice at all. So back to feedback. And that's the kind of thing we're talking about. Now, if those students had just stayed and grumbled and said, let me shall write what I can write,
it would have been
disaster.
Yeah.
Everybody failed. But because they all gave a unanimous feedback on this thing, then the authorities had to say, look, I think we need to examine this. Something is going wrong here. And that's why it's necessary to talk to these children and say, what do you think? And you can actually structure them like questionnaires. For the primary school children that you cannot ask such technical questions or whatever, maybe because they can't comprehend the kind of question, narrow it down to certain types of feelings.
Yeah.
You understand? And color code it. Blue, sad. Red, angry. Yellow, happy. And so when you say, the teacher makes me do this, that, pick a color. You just pick
and if
blue.
you say blue, you have made the child blue.
If he picks red, you know what it means, and you just lay it out so there are ways we can do these things, but we're not doing it, and I think it's critical. What do you?
I totally agree, because if there's no feedback system in the education sector, then we're going to have emotionally damaged children, because the academic feedback is not enough. The emotional feedback, if I don't feel safe, if I don't feel loved, and we're in a generation now where I'm grateful that our emotions are taking a certain level of cognizance, not to overflog the emotional aspect, but that's the stabilizing factor.
There's also that aspect of lazy people saying, oh, my mental health.
No, we're not talking about that. No, that's not that. We're not talking about those who every little thing is your mental health. Please get a life. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about having holistic children, individuals, because you want the child that has been trained holistically to be the leader tomorrow, not a senator tomorrow who victimizes another senator and uses power play and all that thing we're seeing.
Let's go there.
Let's not go there. Because you're starting from childhood. It's what you ingrain in that child, and he sees as an adult anyway. So if we have feedback systems in class, like you said, the color coding for the primary school students, the principal just walking into a room and looking at the body language of the children when their teacher walks in, or when the child is standing in front of the teacher, the body language. If the child is afraid of you at that level, there's a problem. If the little kids are physically afraid of you, then there's a problem. Even in secondary school, you will know negative feedback on assembly when a teacher starts talking and all that.
And children are booing because
you can't catch them.
So they are free.
Yes, they are free to do anything. But if you've already created that feedback system into the school, you will know on 10 that there's a problem.
To vent. They have
anonymously. Yes, you will know that there's a problem with this teacher, and then you will begin to make amends. And to those teachers who just want to play demigod, calm down. Bully, calm down. If your children don't like you, if your kids, your students, you forget that you are going to retire, and those are the children who are going to become adults. If they don't like you, not because you were
amazing that a teacher who has been through so many cycles of students, you even seen them out there.
Yes, and none of them.
Doesn't it even do something to you to say, none of these children could even look at me and say, oh, if not for you.
If not for you, you just want to be a demigod, and
the only thing you know to do is just feed off the energy and the excitement you get from being a bully. How does that work for you, really? How are you okay with yourself? Some of these children see you later, and they just...
The thought of you upsets them. I have teachers like that. In my mind, I thought of them just like, shush, thank God I got away. So But that can also be curbed if we have a feedback system in the school system that helps the owners.
Where the authorities monitor.
Yes.
They can quickly pull in a teacher and say, "Hey,
there's a problem. Why this
we're
feed?
getting,
Yes.
and I mean, it's been
What are you doing?
Do we need to send you on a course?
Do we need to fire you?
Fire you or get you, reoriented about
Rehabilitated? Well, rehabilitation. And those teachers and speaking of feedback, those teachers who and I know it's still happening, who sexually victimize their children.
I'm not emotionally ready to answer because it's a really very annoying. Very annoying. I don't trust myself to talk.
Okay, so let me not.
So let's.
Okay.
Let's just let it slide.
All right, we'll take that on another episode when he's able to handle it.
I think we should. So on that note, we've come to yet another end of another beautiful episode on SchoolTalk Cafe, right here in the SchoolTalk Cafe studios. You wanted to say something?
Yeah. Speaking on the feedback, if schools need us to help them create a feedback system mechanism for their school, do feel free to reach out. Yeah.
With all pleasure. We could come in, take a look at the system, and build feedback mechanisms for your school, such that you can keep a track of your teachers' performances, not just let them run the syllabus and then do exams and then all my children passed. Because at times that's another thing teachers do.
My children passed.
My children passed.
No, that's not it.
They pass not because you genuinely mark their some of them just are very free with marks. And the parents too don't bother to check passed. So we can curb all that by putting the necessary feedback systems or mechanisms in place. Anyway, it's a final goodbye.
Yeah, final goodbye.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right then. See you same time next episode on SchoolTalk Cafe. Please don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe. Bye.
Bye.